Um, well, to start off, it's been, as you said, it's been very up and down. Very optimistic going into the new season, and um, I suppose optimistic right the way through, really, in the hope that we would, do what the club had never achieved before, and make the playoffs. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, and that's probably the only disappointing thing for me, is that because I was only going to ever be here for a year on loan, it would have been nice to go down in history with this great group of guys who, I've thoroughly enjoyed working with. But it never happened, and that's the only disappointment I'll take. On a personal level, I've really enjoyed it. I've been hampered a little bit with niggly little injuries throughout the season, things that I couldn't have done much about. A broken rib, a broken toe, and as much as I wanted to play and getting injections in order to get out there to play, it just didn't happen. And that obviously coinciding with such good players. This is one of the lads sitting next to me who was in my position, Nick Hagland, another good young player, and then like Stephen Colwell. I come here as a right full back, but Mark Bloom's good form meant that I was moving around positions, playing centre midfield, centre back, and just trying to help the team in that way. But personally, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and just so glad that I've experienced what I've experienced this year, and I'll take that with me and hold on to it forever. I've met some fantastic people who I'll be in touch with and in contact with, for a lifetime, because they're genuinely good people at this football club, and I just wish them the best in the future. I really do.
Brian, just to get that right, your loan will not be, or you will not return for next season to Toronto FC?
No, I mean, I haven't spoke about it, but I don't think so. I haven't even spoke to anyone regarding that matter, but I'll be going back, and I've got I think a year and a half left on my contract with my team back home, so I'll have to sit down with them and just see what's next. I suppose I don't really know. I should know a little bit more over the next month or two, I suppose.
If that option exists and you can come back for next year, the team is willing, your team is willing, is that an option?
I just think that's a lot of ifs and ifs and buts. Like, it's pointless me even giving you an answer, because I just genuinely don't know. There's a lot of people that will have to speak before anything like that comes to the table, so it'd just be speculating, and I genuinely don't know. I'll just have to see what happens when I go home.
Doneil, the club confirmed last week that they had sold you to a club in Cyprus. What do you know about your future, and do you know when you plan to go over there, or when you plan to begin your career over there?
To be honest, like you said, a lot has been going on. It happened in April, when something came up, and I thought it was probably a good opportunity for me to finally fulfill my dreams of going to play in Europe. But as of right now, a lot of discussions still have to be made between myself and Toronto, and just waiting on my options, see where my future will go. I'll sit down with my agent and my family, and I'll see what's the best decision for me, and eventually I'll pick what I think is the best for my career.
Doneil, we found it somewhat strange that nobody came out and said you'd been sold and loaned back. Did you find it strange? Is it difficult not telling people what your status was?
No, because my heart was always here in Toronto. So I didn't want to be a distraction to the team in this 2014 campaign. I never left. I was here. My focus was with Toronto. So me staying here, I just wanted to help do my part as a player for Toronto and just make sure that his team was successful, especially in the form that we were in. So I just didn't want to be a distraction here in Toronto with my club team that I'm playing for.
Did the club tell you not to speak about it, and can you tell us which Cyprus club it is that owns you?
I will not tell you what club it is. And no, the club did not say that. I thought that was personally on me, just because I didn't want to be a distraction here. And as of right now, like I said, there's a lot of discussion that will have to go on before I make that final decision on where I'll be going.
Just following up one last question, why can't you tell us Which club owns you?
It's just right now I don't feel comfortable talking about that, and eventually you guys will find out.
A lot of expectations were put on your team early this year with the campaign of Blaine McNeil bringing the full win. What was Defoe like as a teammate, and do you expect him to come back?
You want me to?
Both of you, actually. Thank you.
Jermaine is a fantastic lad, great person, great around the dressing room, and someone who I've got an awful lot of time for. I don't see why he won't come back. He's got 3 years, I think it is, left on his contract. So I know there was a lot of speculation around the transfer deadline day in August about Jermaine, but it never happened. So he will probably come back here, and he'd be a great asset if he does. So hopefully that's the case.
I definitely agree with what Brad said. Jermaine has been a great guy since he came in the change room. Doesn't have an ego, has came in, and as you can see, he can score goals. And if you can keep Jermaine fit, he'll score goals for the club. So me personally, and the relationship that I've had with Jermaine, it's been like a big brother. Just giving you advice and trying to just tell me how this game goes, and just help me along the way, and just kind of nurturing me into hopefully a good professional. But no, to see Jermaine back here next year, I believe so.
Brad, when you look back at the season, do you have a theory, or can you give us some reasons as to why this team made it to the playoffs? Because I think the expectation was that the team was certainly good enough on paper to finish top 5 Eastern Conference. So why didn't it make the playoffs?
Probably because I given other teams goals week in, week out. No, I mean, I think as I said before, the optimism was there, the talent was there. I just think what needs to happen with this group is the penny to drop to realise how good they are. But then with that comes a consistency and a doggedness to churn results out week in, week out, and that I think was one of the problems throughout the season. Just maybe a little bit of naivety, or, as I said, I don't really know, but there's teams, let's put it this way, there's teams in that playoffs that aren't as good as Toronto FC, in my opinion, but they've got players who have been in and around the league, know what it takes to win in this league, and I think when that penny does finally drop with this group, which I think is very possible that it will happen very soon. I think there'll be a force to be reckoned with, because they've got a fantastic mix of good young players with a little bit of experience, and obviously there'll be new faces coming in, no doubt. And with all them ingredients and a will to work with each other, I think there'll be success. Certainly not too far away.
Bradley, when you go back, if you do go back to England, when people ask you about MLS and Toronto FC, what will you tell them?
I'll tell them nothing but good things. Honestly, I've absolutely loved my time here, and I probably haven't played nowhere near as much as I wanted to. But as I said before, some of that was down to little injuries, or bad form maybe, or just whatever the reason being. If I'm not playing, I'm usually a nightmare. But yeah, it's different, because you just genuinely want the group, the best for the group, and sometimes you've got to take a step back and take your selfish blinkers off and realise if you're not in the team a certain week, that's the best thing for the group. And I've just thoroughly enjoyed my time here. I've met some fantastic people, seen some fantastic cities. I've been fortunate enough to live in this fantastic city, and it's I think it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, this league, and hopefully this CBA that is going to happen, I think sometime in December, with the league and the union. There'll be even further improvements which make it a bigger a bigger league, a better league, and an option, a genuine option for top European players. But basically the answer to your question is I'll have nothing but good things to say about not only this football club but the league as well. I think there's still improvements to be made. You know, some of the officiating's been shocking, and I think that needs addressing. No, I mean really addressing, because you know for it to be a top league, they need top standard refereeing, and I don't think that's happened. It's, you know, you can get away with isolated mistakes because we're all human. You know, players make mistakes, but when it's like week in, week out, there's always a talking point. It's got to get to a point where the level is consistent and good enough to be on a level that the league is talked about as one of the best in the world, which I know that's the aim. But there's so many pluses and positives, and it's been a fantastic year for me and my family, and one that I'll cherish and got some great memories of. So I just wish the lads in the club genuinely all the best moving forward.
Yeah, this is a question for both of you guys. Sometimes when there's disappointments in the season, there's a temptation at management levels to just blow up the roster and start it all from zero again. What would you say? I mean, maybe it's a bit presumptuous to give Tim advice, but I mean, what would you say in terms of what this team has on its roster now and what it needs going forward?
I've seen it happen here for as long as I've been here, where they've changed the roster completely. But there's quality in the change room. There's young players that are coming through the academy levels and showing well. So if we can just keep those players with some of the older guys like Brad to nurture them, I'm sure we'll have more than a good team to compete in the playoffs. Every year with a changed team, it's really hard. You know, top teams, they've been together for more than 3-4 seasons. So as long as we can keep the core group around for long enough, I think that this can be a team that can go to playoffs steady over the years.
Doneil, how many managers have you played under?
I want to say 6, I think about 6 or 7.
Who was your first one?
Preki.
Surely that must create havoc in terms of players knowing what strategies and schemes and things like that.
I don't think that's just here though. I think that's world football in general. You know, everyone wants success yesterday, and that's just the way of the world at the minute. Certainly within this profession, I think there's managers come and go. I look back home. I think the stat was there's been something like 28 managers sacked since the start of the season, which is incredible. You know.
But Doneil's what, 21?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not just here that happens. It's everywhere. You know, I think what the club do need is a little bit of stability as far as, you know, put a coach in place. Greg at the minute, give him time, give him, you know, the resources needed in order to progress again, because the lads aren't too far away. You know, as I say, you're still going into the second to the last game of the season or whatever it may be, hoping that you're going to get in the playoffs. You're not too far away, and we probably should have got there. There's no doubt about it, you know, throughout the course of the season. But I think now everyone just expects success yesterday, instant success, and it doesn't happen in this game. It takes time. You've got to bed different personalities, characters, strengths and weaknesses together to create the winning formula. I think you look at Kansas and you look at LA Galaxy over the years, they didn't start off as great teams. It took time, and they're now reaping the benefits of the time given, and you know, that's why they're successful. You know, it's a process. It's not an instant, you know, an instant thing. It's a process. These things take time, and hopefully, you know, TFC will realise that and realise they're not too far away, and do the right thing by who's in charge.
Last one.
You're speaking now about your European dream. I'm wondering, what do you envision for your career moving forward, and what are you hoping to accomplish in Europe? And on top of that, where do you see yourself in 3, 4, 5 years down the line?
I'm hoping in 4 to 5 years I can establish myself as a top center half in Europe. I have real big ambitions and dreams of not only being known as a Toronto FC player, as a Canadian player. I want to put myself on a level where I'm established worldwide. I'm not putting any limits on my growth to where football can go, because I've seen good players played against good players that have gone to places, big clubs in the world, and you can see it even in the MLS. You see young players that are, you can hear little rumors about them being transfers to top clubs in Europe. So I'm not gonna ever put no limits on to where I'll be heading in the future. Where I go is a big question mark. That's my choice when it comes to the work rate and how I perform over the years. But I can just say Toronto has always been my home, and I've enjoyed my time playing with all the managers, because I've taken stuff from every manager, from Bob de Klerk and Aaron. I've had Nick Dasovich. I've had great teammates like Robbo. All these guys, I feel, have made me the player that I am today. And when I feel like I'm no longer growing, then I need to try something new. But I can say for this year, I felt like I had a really important part on this team. And when it did happen, that I was sold, I felt like I needed to be here, because I owe it to Toronto that I can be a starter at this club. And when the time comes where we'll make decisions, I'll make the decision that's best for me and my growth. But I've enjoyed my season. I felt like there's numerous great times where we can take positives out of this season and just take it forward into the next year. But like I said, when Ryan had the team, it was great. We're getting points, we're doing well, and then we here and there, the team's gonna slide back. It happens to everyone. But for Tim and Vanny, Vanny's a great coach, and with what he's done so far, give him the time that he needs, and he'll definitely succeed.
Thanks, guys.